Hi everybody, Brendan here. I hope you are having a great week leading up to the Memorial Day holiday, at least in the United States. I want to start off by saying that I apologize for the audio on the Mother's Day upload. I was trying to put that together quickly, and despite the fact I know sound travels efficiently through solids, I recorded it with my iPad sitting on the surface that I was sitting at. Therefore, you can hear every time I lightly bump the desk or that my leg hits the table leg. What I learned from that is that I should always record sitting at a distance and separated from the recording device with the microphone, at least until, I get a Bluetooth type peripheral. So that is what I will do going forward. Now that we discussed best practices, let's talk a little bit about this upload. And the purpose here is to outline why I find that agentic AI auction house for ad tech so compelling. It ultimately comes down to the fact that I view ad spend as highly wasteful in the traditional or historical sense. When brands spend millions of dollars to buy ad space based on generalized demographic information, and the majority of the audience for those advertisements isn't even a prospect for that particular product or service. Instead, I see that we need the ability to advertise to a brand of one in the future, and that's why hyper-personalization is so valuable and why I believe that AI needs to play a major role in the future ad purchasing. Additional benefits include the ability to make advertising and marketing jobs more rewarding by coaching the agents or the bots that do the ad purchasing, as well as being able to grow the pie and democratize the advertising industry, leveraging AI and ad purchasing, because as we start advertising more one-on-one, we're going to need more brands to share their valuable messaging. All right, let's dive into those models that I find compelling. I believe it's going to be a combination of several models to provide a cohesive advertising experience that is good for both businesses and for the audience. The first model that I have brainstormed, I call the NASCAR model. It is controlled by the platform in the sense that the platform owns and more or less operates the bots. The brands just configure what they want the bots to do. And I believe that marketing professionals will have a great time training them and coming up with creative ways for your NASCAR bots to win advertising space. The way that money would be generated would be very much like bids.com, where brands will purchase a certain number of advertising bids that they are looking to do over the period of the month or a fiscal quarter or the advertising campaign, and then they would be able to set thresholds. In this way, we'd be making good on giving brands every opportunity to control their advertising spend. The second model that is very similar, but I call it the no limits poker table or the secret agent model. Basically, there is no limitation on spending for these particular models or what they can do as long as they adhere to the rules of the auction. The brands have a great deal more control in this situation where they can creatively develop and configure their own AI algorithms to do whatever they can to get a competitive advantage in the auction house. And then they would pay the auction house or the platform to host all of their bots. And then obviously in both the NASCAR and the secret agent model, the house or the platform benefits from the purchase of the different ad slots. If you've worked in marketing or advertising, you're probably asking, what about those time slots that are not high value, that AI agents and the algorithms probably would not choose to bid up? In a hyper-personalized world where AI is being leveraged, it is probably a situation where a device on a platform is not detecting an attentive audience. So in that case, I have what I call the budget bin. It's similar to what eBay does with the buy now function, but with a low price. So for those situations, there's an opportunity for any brand to come in right now, snatch this empty slot up for the low price of whatever it happens to be, and then advertise. And there is certainly value to doing that because, as you know, in advertising and in sales, a prospect has to be touched by your brand and learn a little bit about your products before it is relevant to them or before they think about it. So this could be an opportunity while the audience is not hyper attentive. It's an opportunity to share your value prop. And the next time they are giving your advertising full attention, your brand and their need for your product or service pops top of mind. Last but not least, there are going to be time slots that don't get snatched up. So it creates an opportunity to have a freemium model. And strategically thinking, you want to have empathy for various different customer types, as well as you want to create a hyper competitive market to make sure that the time slots are generally seen as a premium commodity. Therefore, from the platform ownership perspective, you want to have a hyper competitive market for the limited amount of spaces that are available. That's just economics. And then from a customer empathy perspective, you want to create offerings or opportunities for businesses of all sizes, from major corporations that spend millions or billions of advertising to small businesses and not-for-profits. And that's really where I think these unpurchased slots fit in. I think there would be like a lottery system, and they would go to small businesses or not-for-profits that meet certain financial qualifications. And in that case, it would be a free time slot. The only cost for these small businesses would be to create an advertisement that could go into the slot, and then they would be able to share their message in a way that wasn't possible before because of financial restrictions. And in that way, you would be strategically working to potentially grow a brand and ultimately drive customer loyalty, since when they blow up, they are going to continue to advertise through your channel. Additionally, in the spirit of like rent control, I would also think that maybe 2 to 5% of the time, you could have a lottery to randomly put a small business or not-for-profit commercial into a premium time slot. So that is what I am thinking. If you're like me and you see the value of hyper-personalization, I look forward to reading your thoughts in the comments, whether they're advertising related or for another domain altogether. Also, feel free to ask questions. What I really want to hear from everybody is, how do you think we could improve the future so that we can create better, more meaningful, rewarding advertising and marketing jobs where humans and AI collaborate, so we can ultimately create the best business model while also making advertising a better, less repetitive, more meaningful experience for the audience. And until next time, keep on ideating, stay creative, and always work to make the world a better place.